Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why it's far easier to work with really, really rich people than it is with people who are not rich, right? And this isn't. I'm not the only person who's made this observation, right? So here we have Myron Golden, right? It says to get rich, sell to these people, businesses, and organizations. And then you could see in the thumbnail says it says sell to the rich, right? Much easier to make money selling to the rich than selling to people who are not rich. And I'll give you several reasons why. I mean, Myron says right here, to be rich, the first thing you want to do is sell to rich people. Why? Because when we desire something, we don't hesitate to buy. Interesting, right? Very interesting. Now, another reason that I think it's far easier to deal with rich people, and here's the thing, if you're poor right now, again, you can still follow this advice, which is don't sell to poor people, sell to rich people to become rich, and then if you want to serve the poor then you do your charity work and all that stuff and you don't expect to get money, okay? But if you want to become rich, you need to sell to rich people. I mean, think about like Dell Computers. The guy who founded Dell Computers became a billionaire, right? And then he had started that Dell Foundation. I don't think he started Dell Foundation first, then started Dell Computers. He probably did it once he um, amassed a fortune, and then learn how to serve people who are poor. But it's far easier, in my experience, to deal with rich people than to deal with people who are not rich. And I'll tell you why. Okay, for me, the best reason to work with rich people is not only that they have the money, but two, they understand the marketplace. This is something that a lot of people don't talk about. Because in the end, if you have too much money, but the goods and services in the marketplace are worthless, then you'll become frustrated and your money is essentially worthless as well, right? I mean, think about this. Let's say you are going to spend tens of millions of dollars in a commercial retail space, right? Like Whole Foods. Whole Foods, you could think that they, because they're part of Amazon, they have all the money in the world. Okay, you have all the money in the world and you want to set up shop in prime real estate in San Francisco and you spend tens of millions of dollars to get set up, and then after 1 year you have to close because of political mismanagement, right? And so now you're frustrated and the money you spent to open up that commercial retail space is quite worthless, right? So if this is the environment that that a super duper rich people has to face in the marketplace, they understand if I spend tens of millions of dollars, all I do is get a worthless retail space that I'm going to have to close after 1 year. A poor person would never understand that, right? Because they didn't buy and sell in that marketplace and they don't have experience of what the quality of goods and services are in exchange for money, right? So this is why it's important, a person who has experience in the marketplace and understands the quality of the products and services sold at the current rate or whatever people are paying for, they're incredibly valuable. And theoretically, that's what a good real estate agent would do for you. They understand, hey, you only buy one house every 7 years. I deal with, 12 houses a year and I get to see the quality of the homes and I get to see, what price they're going for. Now, there are certain markets where the homes aren't even that good and they sell for millions of dollars, right? Just like here, San Francisco, your Whole Foods, they spend tens of millions of dollars on worthless commercial retail space. And it's crazy, right? So 65,000 foot square foot location in San Francisco, 1 year after it closed. Heralded as a flagship store in March 2022. Whole Foods is one of the largest supermarkets in downtown San Francisco, and then they closed it. They closed it. So imagine that you are this billionaire with all this money, and you're looking for a real estate space, and you spend tens of millions of dollars, and after 1 year you have to close it. You'll be frustrated. So where's the opportunity for you to there is that when you sell to that rich person and you have, let's say, maybe safe office space in San Francisco that in which the really rich person wouldn't have to spend billions of dollars, okay, to close it down after 1 year, that person will pay you a lot of money simply because they understand what the quality of the marketplace can provide, right? Does that make sense? Like a rich person would understand that, a poor person would not. So that's why when I deal with rich people, me personally, I never get any criticism. Never. They tell me the most wonderful things about myself. They tell me how awesome I am. Oh my goodness, there's nobody like you. Wow, you made this presentation that other people like. Usually, other people in our group they ask so many questions, but nobody asks any questions. Your presentation, and and that's a good sign. And I was like, whoa, other things like you are the best. I've heard that so much, and I'm like, all right, well, I didn't know it would be like this. Like I literally had no idea. Sometimes, and that's why I said sometimes I was just throwing mud at the wall. And does that mean that no, every non-rich person is never going to appreciate? No, that's not it. I could count maybe two or three people in my hand where like, oh yeah, they know what I have to offer. But maybe I would say like 95 or 97% of the population who's not in that category I'm thinking of, they'll probably criticize me and tell me I'm not good enough, right? That's what they'll probably do. So here, as you can see, this is a rent check from one tenant, and you might be asking, how did you get that? Like, how do you constantly get these checks without any hesitation from tenant? Again, I'm going to follow this advice, which is sell to the rich, even rental housing, right? Think about it. Let's say you have all the money in the world and you've been looking for a rental house for a year and all of them were crap, right? All of them were crap. And if you don't know about Georgia, a lot of rental homes are owned by big corporations that do nothing to maintain the property. So, like I said, you have all the money in the world, but if the products and services in that marketplace are awful, your money is just good as worthless. And if you have a decent rental house and you're selling to someone with a lot of money, lots and lots of money, and they're just looking for a place to rent, maybe, they want to rent before they buy, much easier transaction to sell to someone who understands that marketplace than someone who's just doesn't have that much money. Oh, they think they have all the choices in the world. And again, I experienced this when I was renting out a house where people were trying to treat my property where like oh, this isn't that good. Whereas the really, really rich person was like, oh my goodness, yes, I will rent. Yes, I will rent because a rich person has experience in the marketplace. The poor person usually does not. I say usually, okay? And that's why after getting these types of checks, I get text messages like these. Thank you so much for everything. We appreciate you, right? I don't I only get these types of messages from really, really rich people. Isn't that interesting? Like I don't get that from other people. Other people, I'll tell you what my experiences are with like friends and family members. Yeah, but you got to improve on this, or like, oh, well, that's not that good, right? Whereas really, really rich people, man, they just tell me I'm perfect. I gotta find that Ryan Gosling picture where it's like, what was that movie where he holds that sign, tells you you're perfect? Was that Ryan Gosling? I don't know, but when I deal with really, really rich people, that's the messages I get, right? Because they understand the marketplace. And so if you can provide something that is just good enough, it doesn't have to be the best in the marketplace, they will hand you money. They will hand you money and they will say, oh my goodness, you are awesome. Right? So that's why rich people are far easier to work with because they understand the marketplace. They've probably bought, you know, or try to buy a couple of times or have understand the quality of the nature of the product, goods and products sold because again, someone has to make them, right? I mean, think about if you entered a shop, you have all the money in the world, and all the goods came from factories in China. Probably not good quality, right? Probably not. All right. Well, that's it for today. Just to kind of give a quick crash course about dynamics with money and understanding the marketplace. And I understand, like, I really feel like society and stuff doesn't emphasize like understanding the marketplace. Like, why does, let's say, a certain profession that doesn't do that much work get $300 an hour versus maybe someone who works at like the supermarket and makes minimum wage and doesn't even get 40 hours a week? Right? It's sad that that happens, but we have to understand the marketplace dynamics. That's how we get rich, not based on how hard we work or the quality of the products or services. I mean, they just have to be marginally better than whatever it is that is already out there. Um, but the quality and all that's all overrated. Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it for this video. I'm gonna crank out another one before I do my thing today, Saturday. All right. Well, then have a great day, everybody, and we will speak next time.